Welcome to Anna from Market Perspectives.
Anna from Market Perspectives Monday. Setup, tariff whiplash, big tech week, and rate decisions. Welcome back. In 5 minutes, I will set you up for the week, starting with the S&P 500 board, the latest tariff headlines, the macro calendar, earnings and IPOs to watch, a quick futures and commodities sweep, and 3 chart reads, QQQ, Meta, and Amazon. Let's go. S&P 500 pre-market snapshot. From the heat map, leadership leans tech. Apple is up about 1.25, Google up about 2.7, Microsoft modestly green, Nvidia up about 2.25, Broadcom up about 2.9, and AMD firm. Communication services is positive on Google and Meta. Financials are constructive with JP Morgan up about 2. Energy is mixed. Consumer defensive is softer with Walmart slightly red and Costco down about 1. Autos are split. Tesla is lower about 3.4. Takeaway, mega cap tech is stabilizing leadership while breadth is patchy with software and some industrials still digesting last week's swings. Trump tariffs, what changed and why it matters? The tariff tape stayed noisy. The headline sequence over the weekend. Trump said he is terminating U.S.-Canada trade talks after an Ontario ad used Ronald Reagan audio criticizing tariffs and threatened an extra 10% tariff on Canada. At the same time, the White House set a meeting for Trump and China's President Xi this Thursday in South Korea. Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent said Washington and Beijing reached a framework to avert the 100% tariff escalation, which helped risk assets and lifted crypto. The U.S. also opened a probe into China's compliance with the Phase 1 deal and is weighing software export curbs. Economists including Bernanke and Yellen filed a brief urging the Supreme Court to overturn the broad reciprocal tariffs, with arguments set for early November. Bottom line, Canada headlines raise bilateral risk for autos, energy, and retail, while a U.S.-China framework reduces tail risk into the leaders' meeting. Expect two-way volatility across chips, autos, and banks as courts and diplomats shape the path. Macro calendar, what can really move prices? This is a rates-heavy week with the Fed, the Bank of Canada, and the Bank of Japan on deck, plus Europe inflation. Monday, United States core and headline durable goods, new home sales, GDP now, plus 2- and 5-year auctions. Tuesday, United States home prices and consumer confidence, Japan trade detail, API crude. Wednesday, United States goods, trade balance, impending home sales, crude and Cushing stocks, then the Fed statement and decision, 4.00 to 4.25 expectation range, with the press conference after. Canada releases wholesale sales and the Bank of Canada rate decision and statement, with the report and press conference. Japan posts the BOJ statement and outlook, with the decision later. Thursday, Europe GDP and unemployment. Mexico GDP, United States Q3 GDP, and core PCE prices, the ECB decision and press conference, then Tokyo CPI at night and China PMIs. Friday, United Kingdom house prices, Europe CPI flash, United States core PCE, spending, ECI, Chicago PMI, RIGS, and Canada monthly GDP. What flips the tape, a steady Fed and BOC, plus benign core PCE on Friday, keep easing hopes alive. A hawkish surprise or sticky inflation would support a stronger dollar and heavier equity volatility. Earnings to watch, at least 5 per day with several mega caps. Monday, Welltower, Cadence Design, Waste Management, NXP, Keurig Dr. Pepper, Hartford, Celestica. Tuesday, Visa, United Health, Novartis, HSBC, NextEra Energy, Booking, American Tower, Royal Caribbean, Southern Copper. Wednesday, Microsoft, Alphabet, Meta, Caterpillar, ServiceNow, Boeing, Verizon, KLA, Santander. Thursday, Apple, Amazon, Eli Lilly, MasterCard, Merck, Shell, S&P Global, Gilead, Stryker, Industrial and Commercial Bank of China, China Construction Bank, Schneider Electric. Friday, ExxonMobil, Chevron, AbbVie, Linde, BYD, Aon, Colgate-Palmolive, Tokyo Electron, Intesa San Paulo. Angles, cloud and AI spending at Microsoft and Alphabet. Ads and margins at Meta, iPhone and services at Apple. Retail media and cloud at Amazon. Weight loss and pipeline at Eli Lilly. And cash returns at the energy majors. IPOs on deck Thursday. DT House on NASDAQ and Crown Reserve acquisition. Friday, Park Dental Partners, Navan, and Nomadar on NASDAQ. They are small to mid-sized deals, so watch day one allocations and day two liquidity as a read on risk appetite ahead of the mega cap prints. Futures and commodities check. Indices are green with Dow, S&P 500, NASDAQ 100, and Nikkei all higher. WTI sits near 61, Brent near 66, natural gas near 3.34. Gold is softer near 4,127 and silver near 48. Bonds are steady with the 10-year note price near 113. Bitcoin is above 110,000. Message risk tone is firmer, but metals are mixed and energy is headline sensitive. Bonus watch lists, 1 ETF and 2 stocks ETF. QQQ 5-minute Ichimoku shows price hugging the cloud with a slight upward bias. MACD is near flat after a gentle fade. Intraday support sits in the 616 to 617 zone, near the cloud top in Kajun. Resistance tracks 619 to 621. Read neutral to constructive into mega cap earnings. Buying pullbacks closer to cloud support offers better reward than chasing strength while tariff headlines remain live. Meta price is oscillating around 738 with candles riding the top of a rising cloud. MACD is positive but shallow. Support 734 to 736 at the cloud base. Resistance 742 to 745. Read constructive while above the cloud, with earnings focus on ad pricing, Reels engagement, and AI infra spend. Amazon price is consolidating near 224 with a steady rising cloud under price. MACD has cooled from an earlier pop and sits near neutral. Support 222 to 223 at the cloud. Resistance 225 to 226. Read constructive bias into results. Watch North America margins, advertising growth, and AWS backlog. Game plan, keep beta moderate ahead of the Fed and Apple and Amazon. Barbell quality growth against defensives. Size positions to the headline risk. Prefer entries on pullbacks to cloud support with tight risk, especially in QQQ, Meta, and Amazon. If this helped you plan the week, subscribe and share. See you Friday for the recap and post-earnings levels.
Thanks for watching. If you found this valuable, hit subscribe and share this with others. See you next time on Anna from Market Perspectives.